YouTube, how's it going? It is Alec, aka ThatFitGuy from New Jersey. I'm coming to you live right now for my first ever YouTube video. I just want to say it is my first YouTube video and I am a little nervous, so if you see me shaking or if you see me kind of stuttering a little bit, I do apologize sincerely. This video is basically just an overview of why I wanted to start this channel and basically giving you a background of my story and what I've been through for the past 5 years of my life. So yeah, let's just get into it. So I'm going to go way back to middle school. So about 5th grade, I'm going to give you a scenario. So I'm in 5th grade and I'm at a pool party. It's actually the summer going into 6th grade. I'm at a pool party. And everybody's dancing, everybody's having a good time. They're playing that throwback Ludacris, and they're playing all those jams that you just remember, and sometimes you play them in your car now. But they were playing all those, and everybody was dancing, and there was this kid on a picnic table with his head down, and he just didn't look in place, and he had a rash guard on. And to come into conclusion, that kid was me. I had a rash guard on because I was so self-conscious of my body, and the kids would come up to me and say, "Hey Alec, like come dance and come hang out with us and do all that stuff, and why do you have your rash guard on? It's 100 degrees out." And I just said, my mom doesn't want me to get sunburned and all this stuff, but when in reality it was just me being self-conscious about my body. So at that point, that was the beginning of my insecurities and basically my insecurity issues. So let's move on to about 8th grade. So 8th grade is a very important time in our lives. We are about to go into high school, our freshman year of high school. And also 8th grade, it was another insecurity issue I had was it was also in the summertime. I was seeing somebody at the time, but it was an 8th grade relationship. None of those things really work out anyway. But we were going in a pool again, and I still didn't feel confident enough to take off my shirt. So I actually went in with my shirt, and they were like, "Alec, what are you doing?" And again, it was another 100-degree day. And they were like, "What are you doing? Take off your shirt. You're nuts." And I just sat there and I said, "No, I don't want to get sunburned." When again, in reality, that was me being self-conscious about myself. So moving along, freshman year of high school came, and it's a very exciting time in our lives. We're in a new school, we're in a new atmosphere, and we're really just trying to figure ourselves out and trying to get a good start on life. And for me, I was so excited. I was so excited to finally break out of my shell and finally be the person that I always wanted to be. And that person was being the class clown. I was a class clown. I didn't take high school seriously at all, especially my freshman year of high school. I basically almost flunked out. I remember I got caught cheating on a math test. I regret it to this day because it just made me feel like a failure. And ever since then, I have just always made sure to give it all 110% and not take anything for less. When you're a freshman, you want to make sure that you have your friend group, and also that was a huge struggle for me. I wanted to make sure that I had my friend group, and I didn't want to feel lonely, and that's why actually I didn't focus on academics. It was just all about me trying to focus on my social life and also girls at the time, because I'm a freshman and I'm trying to just trying to find somebody. So I get through my freshman year. I don't know how. I don't end up going to summer school. And I basically thank my parents for that, because my parents were such a huge dedication to my life. And even though I wasn't mentally prepared for that at the time, they were still trying to push me through. And we got through, and that was a very difficult time. So moving along, sophomore year of high school basically was the starting point of where my world kind of came crashing down. Those friends that I had freshman year, they weren't really my friends. They started talking behind my back, and they started calling me fat, worthless, lazy. they said I looked hopeless and that I just wasn't into the same things that they were, and that broke me down. And that was the starting point of my depression, and that was the starting point of also my anxiety. So moving along, sophomore year I actually did improve my grades. I got all B's and A's, and I made my parents happy, but I still wasn't happy on the inside because of my friend situation and how that was going. So sophomore year summer, I lost it. I completely got lost inside my own head, and that summer I developed obsessive compulsive disorder, which, if you guys don't know, it is short for, well, that's long for OCD. OCD for me really affected my life, and especially when we got into junior year, it made me lose control. It made me not have feelings and made me feel emotionless, and just all of this stuff combined. And it got to a point for me where I was just constantly just reminded that I was a failure, and I was constantly reminded of other people that I was just that crazy kid that didn't know what was going on with his life. Junior year for me was a very bad struggle, especially when we got into the summertime. That summer I was about 6.5 months into me getting lost inside my own head, and I got to a point where I decided that enough was enough, and I made the decision in my head to try and take my own life. And I remember the one night I was having such a bad panic attack, and I was having very bad anxiety, and my thoughts were at an all-time high. I went in the kitchen, and I pulled out a piece of paper and a pen, and I wrote on the piece of paper. It said, "Mom, I'll see you on the other side." And when I said that, I knew that that night I was going to go through with it. And I took a piece of tape. I taped it on the on my granite table, so as soon as they walked in the morning to go to work, they would see it, and that would be it. That would be my life. And so going back to that, I got my keys. I went in my car. I started it, and I started driving. Now, I had two options in mind on how I was going to take my own life. I was either going to drive to the Verrazano and just jump to my death and free fall it, and hopefully that would have done the job. Another option I had was driving to the nearest bridge near me and also jumping from the top and taking my own life too. But before I even made the left onto Sycamore Avenue, which is a street that connects off mine, I came into realization. I said, what am I doing with my life? I said, what am I doing with my life? Why am I doing this? I'm going to have so many people stunned, and I'm going to have so many people wondering why he was gone too soon, and all my loved ones and all my friends and family would miss me. And I came into the realization of that night, and I turned the car around, I parked it in the driveway, and I ended up falling asleep on the floor of my living room. The next morning I woke up and I told my mom what I've been dealing with for the past 7.5 months. And that was one of the hardest conversations I've ever had with my parents, and to this day it still will be one of the hardest conversations I'll ever have. So they ended up taking me to the psychiatrist, and I got the help that I needed, and I was on my way to becoming a new and better me. My senior year of high school, it was a lot better. I enjoyed it for the most half. I still had my depression and anxiety, but that wasn't a big factor in my life. I was not suicidal anymore. I did not have those thoughts, and things were rolling. Things were really rolling. And my senior year's summer, it wasn't the best. I can't complain that because there was just a lot of things going on. I had college to try and cram in. I had all my packing stuff to do, and also I was just afraid that I wasn't going to fit in, and that if people found out about what I've been through and people have found out about my story, that I would just get judged and I would just feel like worthless, and they would just be like, wow, this kid tried to take his own life, he's an idiot. And I just didn't want to be that guy, and I didn't want to really be open about my past. But as of today, you can clearly tell that I'm more than open about my past, because this channel is going to mean everything to me. So moving along, I got to my freshman year of college. Now this was a new experience for me. I was in a dorm with no air conditioning, a random roommate, and 12 or 13 other people that I would have never expected me to be friends with. And now they're some of my best guy friends now to this day. So in senior year of high school, I was in a math class, and two teachers of mine, they basically, well, the one teacher told me to my face, he said, you know what, Alec, you're not going anywhere in life, and I can tell because of your work ethic. And that killed me inside. You know, I kind of got senioritis, and I just was kind of slacking at the end of the year, and that's why he told me that. And the other time was my math teacher. My math teacher told our whole class that we weren't going anywhere because of the way that we were acting and just the way that our minds worked. You know, I was kind of in the slower math class because when I was little, I got put on an IEP, which is basically your mind kind of processes things slower, so you need more time to maybe learn a lesson or learn a concept, and that was